Oh man. After working on the phone wave name subject exchange for about an hour, I head to the convenience store to buy dinner. Daru hasn't shown his face all day. He must be busy at that part-time job. I still don't know what he's doing exactly. Probably something that utilizes his super hacka skills. I just hope he steers clear of the law. While walking, I skim at channel on my phone. Tidor hasn't shown up lately. I think it's been a week since his last appearance. I've been reluctant to contact him ever since he called me the Messiah in his last email. That was about the same time he stopped posting. Now at-channel denizens are busy slandering Tidor. The majority opinion is that he ran away. I wonder where Tidor went. I tried emailing him the other day, but he hasn't replied. His disappearance is especially worrying now that I think he might be Suzuha's dad. I need to contact him somehow. I still think that it's actually Suzuha herself that's John Tidor. She said her dad was, what was it, like Biscuits Tidor. I don't think it's actually Biscuits Tidor, but something that isn't John Tidor. Just then, a mail arrives. From, oh god, these are the people threatening him, isn't it? You know too much. Oh god. It feels as if a cold hand stroked my spine. Beryl, that's it, Beryl, Tidor. I hug myself, shuddering at the sight. I delete the email immediately. It's happening again. This is bad. Really bad. This is a threat. Was it sent by the organization? By CERN? Does CERN know what we've been doing? Should I report it to the police? Wait, I can't. I just deleted it. And in any case, a picture alone probably isn't enough to get the police involved. Still, maybe I should talk to someone. But who? Not the girls. I can't worry them with this. I'm the adult here, after all. What about Moeka? No, she may be a lab mem, but she's been acting weird lately. Even if I tell her about this, she won't be of any use. Suzuha has her father to worry about. I guess that leaves Daru. I need to find out whether CERN has discovered our hacking. What would CERN do if they did find out, I wonder? They wouldn't have us killed, would they? Despite my efforts to convince myself that this is just a prank, my feet hurry me back to the lab. I burst into the lab, gasping for air, and quickly lock the door behind me. Finally, I can catch my breath. But just then, I realize that something's wrong. Mayuri and Kurisu aren't here. Did they go home? No, their bags are still here. The lights are still on. The door. When I entered just now, it was unlocked. Would they be so careless? The memory of that threatening email fills me with fear. Don't tell me. Were they kidnapped? Who took them? The organization? CERN? And then I hear a noise. Is that the shower? The lab has a shower inside the dressing room. Oh no, he's gonna jump in there, isn't he? There's no bath. We can't afford such luxuries. And it's too small to fit more than one person inside. Now I hear the sound of water running. I recall the famous scene from Hitchcock's Psycho. Oops, I think I skipped that. No! Fresh blood mixing into the water and flowing down the drain. The corpses of two girls sprawled out naked on the tile. The second those images flashed through my head, I slam open the door to the shower room. That was a mistake, Okabe! Oops. Yeah, I figured that would happen. Though through the steam, I see the wet, naked bodies of two girls. Mayuri squats down while Kurisu bashfully twists her body, trying desperately to hide her unmentionables. Are their faces red because of the heat, or... I wipe the cold sweat off my brow and sigh deeply. And before deleted VOD file. No, I think this is alright. I dodge a bar of soap aimed at my face, then quickly flee the dressing room. Well, I suppose that was all my fault. Damn it, it was just a small misunderstanding. I mean, why the hell did they decide to take a shower together when they knew that I was coming right back? It's like they wanted to be seen. Harisu especially. After all that talk about not wanting to spend the night with me around, she sure dropped her guard awfully fast. They're just lucky it was me who walked in on them. What if it had been the organization? They need to get serious. We're fighting for our lives here. By the way, didn't I see a Mongolian spot on Karisu's butt? Or I didn't see a Mongolian spot on Karisu's butt, naturally. Anyway, how much longer are they going to shower? Looking at the clock, it's already been more than 15 minutes since I got back. They were yelling at me a few minutes ago, but now I hear laughter and happy squeals coming from the shower room. Sounds like they're having a good time. They get along almost like sisters. Wow, Christian, you're so slim! But Mayuri, your breasts are so big. I'm jealous. They're checking each other out, aren't they? Woo, ah, ah, ah. In my head, I call up the memory of what I saw in the shower. Wet hair, beads of water glistening on their soaping skin, round-full treasures hidden by conveniently placed steam. I pull my phone to my ear.
少しまずい状況になりつつある。この最強マッドサイエンティストである法王院京馬が蒙古藩少女と能天気少女の姉妹から精神攻撃を受けている。ああ、これは今まで味わった中でも最大級の攻撃力だ。無防備こそ最強の攻撃だと思い知らされたよ。
I don't think my pants can take it.
少女たちを倒せだと。そんなことができるものか。なぜなら奴らに操られているあの少女たちは俺の仲間であり、どうしてもか、どうしても俺は彼女たちを倒さなければならないのか。だとしたら俺は今回ばかりはシュタインズゲートの選択を恨むぞ。臭い。
After a moment to collect myself, I put away my phone. I need some air. 2 days have passed since Karisu and Mayuri came to stay. During that time, Daru and I have done our best to support Karisu's work on the phone wave name subject to change. According to Daru, it should be easy to use the LHC to generate black holes for our use. The black holes form at the proton collision point, where the lifter is installed, and exist only for a few seconds before evaporating. During those few seconds, CERN throws a human into the singularity. We'll use those few seconds too. The gravity of the black hole compresses matter into infinite density. CERN uses the lifter to keep the compression under control, but we don't want that. We're going to dial CERN's lifter down, not so much that it endangers the world, of course, but enough to compress our memory data to under 36 bytes. Daru's been coding the necessary program. As for me, I've been searching for our lifter, the unknown device that pumps electrons into the phone wave name subject to change, and keeps our black hole open. Karisu couldn't find anything that could serve as a lifter inside the microwave, so it must be something on the outside. We're not sure what that could be, and so far we have no idea where to start looking. Yesterday, I consulted Daru about that threatening email, but Daru insisted that there's no way CERN could have discovered his hacking yet. Of course, I had him make doubly sure we hadn't been tracked, His tests have come back clean. Yeah, but CERN has a time machine, guys. I understand he's confident in his skills, and I trust him. If Daru says they haven't found out, then they haven't. But somehow, knowing that does not ease my anxiety. Man, this music is badass! This remix. New mail. From Lukako. Have you gone to any festivals or fireworks shows this summer? Maybe you have plans to go with Mayuri-chan later? I did 22 practice swings with Samidare. Fireworks shows. No, too crowded. I'm being chased by the organization, remember? The last thing I need is a knife to the back. It's Friday, and although we haven't solved the lifter problem, Karisu is just about done with the time leap machine. Naturally, that means it's time for her to give me something else to worry about.
最終調整のために電話レンジを稼働させる。
I groan. In other words, excuse me. Yawn. In other words, we have to cause an electrical discharge phenomenon. There's a risk involved. A risk called Mr. Braun. As we know, the discharge phenomenon causes the entire building to shake. Last time, Mr. Braun threatened to raise our rent if it happened again. Karisu and Daru look at me.
オカリン、あとは任せた。
フォローお願い。
つまり敵地に乗り込み死ねというのだろ。
This too is the will of Steins Gate.
あんたの犠牲があって初めてタイムリープ用電話レンジは完成するのよ。
それにこれまでも店長のご機嫌取りに行ってたのはオカリンだったじゃん。
ならばなおさらたまにはお前たちが。
私は無理。あの店長さん以前にバイトから目の敵にされてる。
いいだろう。だが忘れるな。俺は絶対に死なん。不死のごとく何度でも蘇るぞ。
Naturally. With that said, I head down to handle things with Mr. Braun.
おかりん、死んじゃやだよ。
As I pass through the lounge, Mayuri looks up from her costume to see me off. Mr. Braun. When I step into the store, Mr. Braun, Suzaha, and the Chipmunk are watching some comedy show on a massive 42-inch CTR. Watching TV at noon without a customer in sight looks like business as usual at the Braun 2 workshop. I raise my hand in response to Suzaha's greeting. The chipmunk, Nai, quickly hides behind her father when she sees me.
この店は相変わらず繁盛していないようですね。
おう、岡部か。ブラウン管買ってけ。
知りません。俺は解雇中ではないのかね。買うなら液晶テレビを買いますよ。
Hold that thought. I have mail. From Ferris! Even better. When I listen to Phantasm songs at times like these, I sink into even deeper into the darkness. Nya, join me, Kyoma. So this is Fess's new song. Oh, okay. It's this song. Do 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 do. Getting texts in real life, getting texts in the game. Man, all the texts. Can I set this as a theme now? As call ringtone. That is it, right? Yeah, it is. Yes, that's my new call theme. No, why did I chose listen? Set! Okay. The male ringtone, I might change that now to, maybe we'll change that to Gate of Steiner. Yeah. Let's put that as our ringtone for male now. I look around the store as I answer. Huh. I just thought of something. Like CERN's Large Hadron Collider, the phone wave, named subject to change, must have some kind of electron feed to keep the black hole open. CERN calls this feed the lifter. We still haven't figured out what that is, nor what could be acting as a substitute lifter in our time machine. What if our lifter is somewhere in this shop? Whatever it is must be in close proximity to the phone wave, named subject to change. It couldn't work otherwise, and the Braun Tube workshop is located directly below the lab. Could our lifter be a CRT?
てめえ、最近女ばっか連れ込んでるらしいじゃねえか。
ばっかと言ってもいつもメンツは変わりませんよ。
私もこの前お邪魔してきたよ。
Whenever something important happens in real life for me, too, and I get a message, I always stop to read it. Bad habit I picked up from this game. Yeah, I hear you, Cactooth. This is, changing the way that I perceive my day-to-day life.
俺も呼べ。娘と話して。
父さん、
違うわね。これは社会勉強であり、それと顧客獲得のための営業活動なんだよ。
Check out this scary-looking guy trying desperately to explain himself to his daughter. Hilarious.
そもそもさ、店長の言い草じゃまるで私が若くないみたい。
Bad move, Mr. Braun.
若くはないな。
Oh, smack. Suzuha is the same age as Daru and I, which makes her older than Mayuri and Kurisu, which means that she's old?
なーに？岡部倫太郎、なんつった？
事実だ。
ないね。お父さんがお前さえいれば幸せなんだからな。ね。
うん、分かってるよ。でも、不潔っぽいことはもう言わないでね。
もちろん約束するさ。
Then he joins Pinkies with her daughter. His daughter, even. Damn, Mr. Braun, you're way off character. How often does a guy like him produce a daughter like that? Nai is one of the kindest, gentlest girls I've ever met. I don't know why she's so afraid of me, though. Anyway, I came here to explain that the building's about to shake. How do I avoid having my head ripped off? How many more earthquakes do you think this building can handle? No, that's way too obvious. An earthquake is coming. My magic guy, reading Steiner, has seen it in the future. Escape while you still can. Yeah, that might work.
昨日も椎名真由里は止まったの？
Oh, man.
ああ、
ってことは、マキセ・クリスも？
ああ、二人とも上にいる。
そっか。
Susaha's hostility towards Kurisu hasn't abated.
お前の方はどうだ？
どうだって？
少しは元気が出たのか？
ああ、うん。まあね。捜索は継続中。
あ？おいバイト、何の話だよ。
私、父さんを探してるんだって店長にも前話したじゃん。
ああ、その話か。岡部、探してやれ。
Why does he think he can boss me around?
無論だ。鈴葉はすでにラボメンとなっているのだからな。俺とその他メンバーに任せておけ。
Susaha looks at me with a smile that shines through the gloom filling the store.
岡部倫太郎って私と同い年なのにすごく年上って感じだな。なんかグイグイ引っ張ってく力があるよね。
That's the first time someone said anything like that to me. It makes me kind of happy.
当たり前だ。俺は大井京馬なのだからな。
You scared her again. The chipmunk cowers in terror as I unveil my madness. I can see tears pooling in her eyes. I guess my aura is just too powerful for a grade school girl to endure.
岡部、もし次大声出して苗を怯えさせたら殺す。
すみません。
でもさ。
Susaha takes my arm and leads me away from the dang it, I can't say their name still. Tenojis, I think? Who have gone back to watching TV. What's with this music?
マキセクリスには留意して。
留意。
Circumspect? Why can't she just say careful like a normal person? Not that I'm one to talk.
またか。ただの逆恨みだろ。
Suzaha shakes her head firmly.
違う。これは事実。私はそれを存知している。
Perniciousness? Is she saying Karitsu is dangerous? There's something strange about the way Suzaha is talking, and it's not just her fondness for uncommon words. There's something else. Something...
あの女の頭脳は危険すぎ。それに、結局あいつ、実験のことしか考えてないんだ。
Suzaha's eyes are hard, and her voice is cold as ice. I can tell that she means every word she says.
君たちは利用されてるだけだよ。いい？よく聞いて。あの女はセルンに通じてる。
No, that's impossible. CERN is our enemy. If Daru's hacking is discovered, I have no doubt they'll do everything in their power to destroy us. Just 1 second, I'm gonna read chat because a lot's going on. Song should have been The Blood for the Covenant of Our Sins, but it's just Romanized Japanese lame. That's odd. Jazz made a few edits in post-production. Your favorite wall routes? Well, see what happens when you push them. I'm sure it'll happen naturally. Yeah. I'm not totally sure, but, you know, I initially just want to go through the game and just see what happens, but we'll go from there. How can Karitsu be connected to CERN? Suzaha nods firmly. Oh, shit.
タイムマシン開発の功績もあの女のものになった。
Again, Suzaha's words sound strange to my ears, but I still can't place my finger on why.
だからさ、気を許しちゃダメ。
I don't believe it. I saw Karitsu's anger when she learned what CERN had been doing. She called their actions a betrayal of scientists everywhere. How can someone with such pure love of science be connected to CERN? But if what Suzaha says is true, could she be the one who sent that threatening email? I suspected Moeka, but... Suddenly, the ground starts to shake. Karitsu started the experiment? But I haven't talked to Mr. Braun yet. Sure enough, veins on Mr. Braun's forehead swell in response to the shaking. I'm sure that'll work. The shaking gets more intense, knocking over a CRT. Crap, I can't talk my way out of this one. Mr. Braun clearly wants to snap my neck like a twig, but he elects to protect his greatest treasure, this 42-inch CRT, instead. He grabs the remote and switches it off, then grabs a hold of the TV and hangs on for dear life.
収まった？
みたいだな。
Wait, it's over? I carefully step through the rubble and take the remote from the dazed Mr. Braun's hand. I press the red power button. The 42-inch CRT instantly comes to life. I stare at the image on the screen and smile. Was it actually an earthquake?
どうしたの？
見つけた。見つけたぞ。これに間違いない。そうだ。これこそがリフターに変わるもの。
I don't follow.
これほどわかりやすいのになぜ気づかなかったのだ俺は。いや、今この瞬間に気づいたことこそが シュタインズゲートの選択だということか。
おい岡部、何笑ってやがる。うちの娘を怖がらせるな。それとブラウン管の弁償と家賃値上げだからな。おい、
少し静かにしていただきましょうか、ミスター・ブラウン。今まさに俺は時空の支配者となることが確定したのですからね。
Stars explode behind my eyes as Mr. Braun drives his fist into the top of my head. The world spins. I struggle to get a hold of my shaken brain.
この俺に暴力を振るうとは。
あ
ミスター・ブラウン、ブラウン化の弁償についてはひとまずつけて頼みます。
With that, I fly out of the workshop. I rub my head. It hurts like hell. Damn that Mr. Braun. Did he really have to crack me so hard? Maybe I should report him for assault. Thanks to his brutality, I had to make a strategic retreat even. Fortunately, I did not emerge empty-handed. The extra 10,000 yen a month will hurt, but in exchange, I have acquired information essential to the success of my plan.
おかりー、今揺れたけど下は大丈夫だった？
Mayuri and Kurisu appear in the second story window.
本当に不死鳥のごとく復活してるわね。
クリスティーナ、俺は今ここで予言しよう。3分後、お前はこの俺の偉大さに気づき、尊敬の念を抱くとな。
それはないと思う。
I run up the stairs.
なんでそんなわかりやすいことに今まで気づかなかった？
When I tell Kurisu about the 42-inch CRT downstairs, that's her first reaction.
なぜ俺は責められているのか。
責めてるんじゃない。私も含めて誰も気づけなかった間抜けさにがっかりしてるだけ。
東大元暮らしはガチ。
整理すると、さっき2階で電話レンジカッコ仮を稼働させ、ビルが揺れ出した時は42型のブラウン管テレビはついていた。だがテレビを消すと、それに同期するようにして揺れも収まったのは。
放電現象は途中で強制的に中断されたわ。念のためにバナナを入れておいたんだけど、ゼリーマンにはならなかった。
それはね、いいことだと思うな。食べ物を粗末にしちゃダメだよ。
Nobody replies to Mayuri's off-point statement. We're busy reading about cathode ray tubes on the internet. It doesn't take long before we find something interesting. A cathode ray tube has a component called an electron gun, which uses extreme heat and strong electric field to accelerate electrons and turn them into a beam. The electron beam striking the TV screen's phosphor layer is what generates the picture. An electron gun could certainly work as a lifter.
解は出たわね。42型ブラウン管が放出している電子が電話レンジの作り出したリング特異点に干渉していた。放電現象はその影響よ。
夜になると電話レンジが使えなくなったのはブラウン管工房が閉まってる時間だったからか。
The Braun Tube workshop doesn't have especially strict business hours, but it's usually open from around 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That matches up perfectly with my observation that the phone wave name subject exchange only works between noon and 6 p.m. A few instances it hasn't worked during that time frame can be explained by the TV being off.
だが、ブラウン管がそんなに強力な電子を放出しているとは思う。
電子量は強ければいいというわけじゃない。そんな単純な問題ならセルンはとっくに問題を解決している。
I see. So it can't be too strong or too weak. By free coincidence, a 42-inch CRT's electron gun appears to have exactly the right level of electron discharge. That's the only explanation.
まさに偶然の一致よ。ここには奇跡的にタイムマシンができる環境が揃っていた。
いや違うなクリスティーナ。 全てはシュタインズゲートの選択だ。
Rather than glare at me as she has so many times in the past, Karisu shoots me an exasperated smile.
別に何だっていいけど。
Mayuri looks up from her costume with a question in her eyes.
つまりね、スーパー電話レンジちゃんを完成させるためにはどうすればいいの？
原因が究明できたなら恐れることはない。
I'll definitely consider it, Cactooth. I'll probably end up doing that anyway, but, you know, because I want to play all the routes anyway. But, anyway.
あの大きなブラウン管がついているとき、タイムリープは可能になるという解を導けると思う。
さっき中断された最終調整も含めてさ、もう一回は実験が必要じゃね？
そうね。岡部、
なんだ。
もう一度下に行ってあのブラウン管をつけてきて。
クリスティーナよ、それは実に面白い冗談だな。それミッションインポッシブルだ。
I'm not going back down there. My head still hurts from last time. Sorry about the static. Frickin' microphone's acting up again. Next time, I doubt I'll make it out alive.
いいからさっさと行きなさいよ。
You go, Karisu. Karisu orders me with a sour look. It's like I'm the assistant
あ
here.
んたならできるって。さっきだってすごい発見してきたでしょ。
常習よ。お前、この俺を偉大なマッドサイエンティストだと認めているか？
いいえ。
あ、
ぐほう、即答とかひどす。
あ、しまった。おだてて頑張らせるならここははいって言っておくべきだった。というわけで、はい。
遅いわ。
リフターの代替装置が見つかった今、タイムリープマシンは 99% 出来上がってる。
Karisu's expression suddenly turned serious, but I can see the hunger in her eyes and flush of excitement on her cheeks. She knows that we stand on the threshold of a new age in science, and she can't resist the lure of the unknown. She is a true scientist, no doubt
こ
about
の
it.
ラボの夢でしょ、タイムマシンは。
Our dream. I've never really thought about it that way. But she's right. My hands are shaking. Not from the fear of Mr. Braun, but from excitement.
時空を意のままに操り、これまでの支配構造をぶち壊す。
岡部、
Karisu interrupts my speech.
私は法王院じゃなくて岡部の意見が聞きたい。
She spears me with her gaze. I meet it head on. After a few moments, I feel my mouth curve up into a smile.
すべて俺に任せるがいい。
Rest in peace, Okabe. With that, I head downstairs. A cracked skull and an empty wallet are a small price to pay for science. Karisu and Daru send me off with applause for some reason. Mayuri's the only one who looks worried, but I pat her on the head in reassurance. When I get downstairs, Suzuha and the chipmunk are sitting side by side on the bench outside.
ウィス。
Nai gives me a quick bow, then hides behind Suzuha.
店長、さっきのでめちゃくちゃ機嫌悪くなっちゃってさ。今ナイと対比中。
Damn. Now I really don't want to go in there.
さっき思いっきりごっちんされてたけど大丈夫？
この俺の世界遺産級の価値がある頭脳をやるなんて殴るか。
100 years.
あの一撃により一体何億のニューロンが死ゆたんだ。人類の未来多大な損失を被った。
Lukako. I see. It's true festivals are very crowded. I was hoping I might run into you at one, but I guess the chances of that were pretty slim to begin with. Ah, it's not like I go to every festival. Please don't misunderstand. P.S. I only did 5 practice swings with Sumedare. And I can't reply. So, there we go.
それは惜しい人を亡くしたな。
Suzuha clasped her hands in solemn prayer. I'm not dead. Just my brain cells.
ごめんなさい。
この小動物なんと人間的によくできた娘なのだ。
I can't believe she's Mr. Braun's daughter.
アンデレン、俺も店長には迷惑をかけたし、おあいこだ。
Nye smiles slightly at my words of comfort.
時にバイトするし、お前に協力を頼む。ミスター・ブラウンの目を5秒でいいから引きつけておいてもらいたいな。
Suzuha's eyes start to shine.
色仕掛けだね。
She flexes her bicep for some reason.
触ってみ。
She insists, so I poke it. It's just as hard as her confidence suggests. She's probably stronger than me. But I don't understand what flexing has to do with seduction.
誰も色仕掛けをしろとは言っていない。お前がやりたいと言うなら構わんが。
それぐらいできなきゃ戦士失格だし。それにさ、父さんのこと一緒に探すって言ってくれたでしょ。だから私もできるだけ君に協力したい。
なるほど。ならば戦士任せ。
オーキードーキー。
Okie dokie, guys.
鈴葉お姉ちゃん、お父さんをいじめないでね。いじめたりしないって。
いかに。
I want to complain that he's the one being mean, but I just said we were even, so I refrain.
苗はここで待ってて。
The chipmunk nods. When we enter the store, we find Mr. Braun cleaning up the pieces of the broken CRT. When our eyes meet, another vein pops on his forehead.
筋を通しに来たのなら聞いてやる。ただし、賃下げ要求には応じねえからな。
先ほどは失礼しました。こちらも気が動転していたのでね。そこで謝罪の意も込めて我がラボを代表し、ここにいる天音鈴葉からミスター・ブラウン、あなたにプレゼントを贈らせてもらう。
店長、刮目せよ。
With a vigorous shout, which in no way seems appropriate for seduction, Suzuha whips off her jacket and...
Yeah!
Throws it into Mr. Braun's face. I can see her bra. No, wait, that's not a bra, but a tight tank top that leaves her midriff bare. Yet Suzuha shows no sign of embarrassment as she rushes Mr. Braun. She slips behind him, grabs her coat, and pulls it tight against his face. Now, wait just a second. Is this your idea of seduction? It looks like you're trying to suffocate him. Mr. Braun flails his arms, trying to escape Suzuha's restraint. There's a huge difference in strength between the two. It's only a matter of time before he shakes Suzuha off. Realizing that the only choice is to go for it, I dash to the counter, grab the remote, and switch on the 42-inch CRT. After about 2 seconds, an image appears on the giant screen. At the same time, the ceiling starts shaking. Kurisu activated the phone wave, name subject change, with perfect timing. Oh man. Did she really take off her clothes without knowing why? Oh man, this is nuts. During that time, I escaped from the store. Outside, Nai is following the earthquake drill procedure, crouching while protecting her head. I ignore that and look up at the second floor. At exactly the same time, Kurisu appears in the window and gives me a happy thumbs up. The rent's gonna go up, indeed. But a second later, she blushes, shoots me a glare, and then disappears inside as if nothing happened. What's with her attitude? I'm risking my life here. In any case, the experiment was a success. The 42-inch CRT was the key, as I suspected. Now, how do I explain this to Mr. Braun? I don't want him to kick us out of the building. Perhaps I shouldn't have left it to Suzuha. I timidly peek into the store to gauge the situation. Suzuha is there, fidgeting in her tank top as Mr. Braun glares down at her.
うっせえ。これは没収だ。
この変態。
変態はおめえだろうが。いきなり脱ぎ出したと思ったら服を俺の顔面に押し付けてくるとは大したプレーだったぜ。岡部に感謝しねえとな。
プレイとか言わないでくんないかな。キモい。
とにかく今日は一日その格好で仕事しやがれ。へそだし結構。なんなら店の前で客引きしてくれてもいいんだぜ。
前に言いつけるよ。
はは。あの子はおめえより俺の言葉を信じるだろうよ。
そう。
No problems here. Suzuha's seduction strategy worked. I guess. Mr. Braun. What a guy. A little while later, I'm lying on the sofa watching high school baseball. Kumamoto and Aichi are locked in a fierce struggle for the playoffs. Just then, the clack-clack of the sewing machine in the lounge suddenly stops.
おかりん、おかりん。ちょっと来て。
She motions to me while holding the costume. What does she want? I walk over to
これ
her.
をね、持っててくれないかな。こうしてピローンって広げて。
まゆし、今のピローンもう一度。
Oh, Daru.
ピロ
ピローンいただきました。
もうやだこの変態。
I follow Mayuri's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves. She inspects it from a few paces away. It's hard to believe given her usual ditziness, but Mayuri is very serious about her art. That's why cosplayers value her costumes so highly. The costume I'm holding now is custom made for Lukako. I thought the Lukako was against it, but I guess Mayuri managed to persuade her.
ありがと
Mayuri looks tired. She's been working all night. But that doesn't dim the brightness of her satisfied smile.
う。
完成か。
クリスちゃんより先にできたよ。競争してたんだ。
負けたわ、まゆり。お見事ね。
Damn you, assistant. She treats me and Daru like garbage, but Mayuri gets the sisterly
で
touch.
もこっちももう終わりよ。
Kurisu connects the two cords she's holding.
完成。
Celebration is in order. But nobody cheers.
引き分けだね。
疲れたお。いすたね。やすたね。
Honestly, I don't feel like cheering either. And it's not because I'm tired. We worked around the clock for 3 straight days to finish the time leap machine, but now that it's complete, I realize that part of me never truly realized it would happen, or believed it would happen. I feel my enthusiasm cooling rapidly, the fire quenched by one stark question. What do we do with it? I look at Kurisu. She too seems less than enthused.
私たちひょっとするととんでもないものを作っちゃったかもしれない。
I look at the improved phone wave name subject change again. The biggest change is the headgear attached to the X68000. It looks like something out of a low-budget cyberpunk movie. Fortunately, we don't need nerve jacks or brain chips for it to work. You just put on and let the sensors do the
とりあえ
rest.
ず正式名称を決めようでは。ヘブンリーエクスプレス。
電話レンジサードエディションバージョン 1.00。
帽子付き電話レンジじゃん。
Oh man. No consensus.
あんたたちって本当に能天気ね。
クリスティーナは危険か？
タイムリープマシン。
You have no imagination.
これはひどい。
何よ、シンプルイズベストでしょ。この2日間岡部だってそのネーミングで呼んでたし。
助手はネーミングセンスゼロだよ。
中二病丸出しのあんたに言われたくない。
おお、まさかマキセ氏が中二病って言葉を知ってるとは。 やるじゃん。
You're doing a great job at hiding it, Kurisu.
たまたまだから勘違いしないで。
Huh, a bald-faced lie. She should just confess to being an at-channeler. Kurisu meets my grin with an icy
おや
glare.
り最終決定権者としてどれか一つ選んで
Whenever the lab is divided on a name, it's the right to decide belongs to Mayuri.
タイムリープマシーンがいいと思います。帽子付き電話レンジちゃんとね、すごく迷ったけど。
I prefer Silly Hat Phone Wave Chan, personally, but
まゆしのことだからそうなると思ったぞな。
だから言ったでしょ、シンプルイズベストだって。まゆりはよくわかってる。
I want to object, but it's an unwritten rule not to complain once Mayuri has made a decision.
ではタイムリープマシンで決定とする。助手全員にわかるようにこのタイムリープマシンの仕組みについてレクチャーしてくれ。
I know the basics, but I want to hear details. Kurisu nods and stands in front of the whiteboard.
一言で言うと、これは記憶をデータ化してリング得意点を通過させ過去へ飛ばす装置。電話レンジには偶然にもタイターが語ったタイムマシンとほぼ同じ機能が備えられていた。生み出されたリング得意点の超重力を安定させ裸にするための電子注入装置。リフターの役割は開花の42型ブラウン管がそれを担ってる。リング得意点を生み出し、そのトンネルを通って過去へと36バイトプラスアルファのデータを転送することができる。局所場して、つまり過去のどこへ到達するかについては携帯電話に限定することでクリアした。 D メールと違って今回は電話をかける形にしたから、メールアドレスじゃなくて電話番号によって局所場指定することになる。
She's explained the basics. Next, she'll explain the modification she made to turn the phone wave name subject change into a time leap machine.
電話レンジには新たにヘッドギアを接続した。これによって側頭葉、正確に言うと海馬の CA3 に蓄積されている記憶の神経パルスパターンを操作するの。その解析データは VR 技術を用いて神経パルス信号から電気信号へとエンコードしデータ化される。
データ容量はおよそ 3.24 テラだお。
3.24 terabytes is less than I expected. We're talking about the entirety of a person's memories.
ちなみにこのデータにはあらかじめ次元式のデコードプログラムを仕掛けておく。これはプログラムに詳しい人なら誰でもできるものよ。橋田にプログラムを作ってもらった。この電気信号データをネットを通してフランスにあるセルンの LHC へと転送。
This building has a direct line to CERN for some reason, so we can transfer data at insanely high speeds.
3.24 テラのデータを転送するのにかかる時間は
直通回線は1本だけじゃなくて64本が束になってるんだ。だいたい45秒ぐらいでいけると思われ。
That's pretty fast.
LHC を遠隔操作してミニブラックホールを作ったら、その周辺で生み出される超重力による無限圧縮を利用してデータを36バイトまで圧縮する。
3 terabytes is about 3 trillion bytes. Compressing that into just 36 bytes. It's one hell of a
圧
squeeze.
縮にも時間がかかるのか。
こっちは一瞬。何しろブラックホールの力使ってるからだいたい23ミリ秒でいける。
ちなみにバイナリデータの超圧縮はミニブラックホール周辺でのみ有効よ。そこから離れた時点でデータは勝手に解凍を始めてしまう。解凍までにかかる時間も圧縮時と同じ23ミリ秒。
その間に LHC からこのペケロッパを経由して電話レンジまで戻さないといけない。まあ36バイトプラスアルファ程度のデータなら楽勝で間に合うお。
クリスティーナ続けろ。
タイムリープマシン側では起動と同時にカーブラックホール効果が発生してリング得意点が生成されてる。放電現象が発生したら LHC から36バイトプラスアルファまで圧縮したデータを戻し、リング得意点内を通り抜けさせる。この辺は電話レンジとやることは同じ。データはタイマーに入力しておいた時間分を遡り、過去の携帯電話へとつながる。リング得意点を通り抜けて過去の携帯電話に到達する頃には23ミリ秒が経過して、データは自動的に解凍されてるはず。解凍と同時にレコードプログラムが展開して電気信号から神経パルス信号に戻す。受信先の携帯電話に到達すると、神経パルス信号は送話口から 0.02 アンペアほどの微弱な放電現象となって発せられるの。これが携帯電話を耳に当てている受信者のこめかみ付近に放射されるわけ。
受信者が電話の呼び出しに出るのが前提だ。
出なければ記憶の転送は失敗に終わる。まあこの場合は特にデメリットは何もないわ。
メールではなく電話をかけることにした理由は？
携帯電話が受信者のこめかみ付近にあることで、データを受信者の側頭葉に送り込みやすくなるから。
She indicates the side of her head.
人間のこめかみ周辺には大脳前頭葉と大脳側頭葉が位置してるんだけど、最初に言った通り側頭葉は海馬傍回があって記憶を貯蓄する場所なの。そこに送信者の全記憶の塊である神経パルス信号が携帯電話から放射される。これで記憶の上書きは完了。同時に携帯電話からは前頭葉を刺激する神経パルス信号も出すわ。これ重要。前頭葉から側頭葉へはトップダウン記憶検索信号というのが発信されてる。これは記憶を思い出すときに発信される信号。
There's one thing that I'm kind of thinking back on, and I'm like, well, I don't yet understand how this ties in. Remember, towards the beginning of the game, I think this was still even on the initial world line, but Okabe got an email, and I want to say that the email was the same address as the people that have been threatening him, sending those threatening emails, and it was just a long string of numbers and letters, and I don't understand what that was about at all. But anyway.
前頭葉を刺激する神経パルスを放射することで、このトップダウン記憶検索信号を意図的に発信させる。これによって送信者から送られた全記憶を受信者に強制的に思い出させるという作用が発生する。未来の記憶を思い出すのよ。それに必要な時間は1秒に満たない。結果受信者は送信者と全く同じ記憶を持つ状態となり、タイムリープは完了。例えば送信者と受信者の時間差が1週間ある場合、受信者は1週間後の未来までに自分が体験した記憶を思い出すことになるわけ。注意すべきなのは意識や人格は転送しないということ。その2つは受信者に依存する。
Oh, was that from a different sender? Okay. Well, either way, I still don't know what that's about, but I've been kind of wondering.
おっぱいに例えて教えてくれ。
Explain it with boobs. Oh, man.
お
Kurisu dissolves into a blushing, stammering mess. It looks like it's up to me to answer Daru's question. Oh yeah, that was the message with the static video file. That's right, and then after the initial play, it was then just numbers and letters. I forgot about that.
現在のダルの記憶を小学生の頃のダルへと転送したとする。今のダルは2次元にも3次元にも無機物にも燃えられる変態だが、小学生時代はまだまだ無邪気な放たれ小僧だったはず。
小学校時代の僕はそれは真面目なクソガキでしたが何か
つまり記憶は今の19歳の変態ダルのものだが、意識、人格はその真面目なクソガキのままとなる。見た目は子供、頭脳は大人な名探偵は成立しないということだ。
なんだつまらん。
This isn't like the time leaping you see in sci-fi novels. We aren't capable of transferring personality and consciousness.
携帯がブラックホールとホワイトホールのような役割を果たすから、記憶を送れるのは 自分が携帯を持ってる時期の範囲内になる。注意すべきなのは、送信者と受信者は同一人物でなければならないということ。例えば過去の自分ではなく親や友達が代わりに出てしまった場合、神経パルス信号はその親や友達に向けて放射される。そうなると親や友達の体に送信者の記憶が上書きされてしまう。下手をすると重大な人格障害が起きるかもしれない。
Now, since they mentioned that part earlier, I've been kind of just wondering about it. I mean, this is just a, out of left field, crazy theory, but maybe, I mean, CERN has a time machine, blah, blah, blah. I think based on the fact that there's a line running to CERN's facilities in France from underneath their building, it certainly makes sense that CERN has taken an interest in their actions and is keeping close tabs on them by probably having sent someone back to the past. Now, what if somehow, in the past, all this has basically already happened in a sense, but Okabe, his personality somehow got merged with someone named Hoin Kyoma, and, I mean, it might not just be a completely made-up persona, but maybe he actually received the memories of someone named Hoin Kyoma. Anyway, just entirely left-field theory, but since they mentioned the fact that if you received someone else's memories, it could damage your psyche and stuff, I was like, well, what if something like that was what was going on with Okabe? And because he's always said, I speak basically only the truth, and maybe from his perspective that's true. Anyway, /end rant. Kurisu ends her explanation and takes a short breath. The lab falls into silence. I exchange glances with Kurisu and Daru. I look at Mayuri, but her expression is blank. I guess it was too complicated for her. I clear my throat. It's time for the million-dollar question.
どうするって？
タイムリープマシンの扱いについてだ。
For once, my assistant has nothing to say. I already know that she fears we've created a monster. Honestly, I feel the same way. After a few moments, Kurisu finally speaks.
私たちの手に負える代物じゃないのは確かよ。一番無難なのは研究機関に譲渡して国家プロジェクト扱いにしてもらうことね。
I can tell that she's not pleased to have reached this conclusion. She obviously would prefer to experiment with this technology. After all, it's humanity's first time machine. We've finally taken our first steps towards godhood. I'm sure that the nations of the world would pay billions for just one look at our machine. The possibilities that it represents are limitless.
実感が湧かないな。
マユシも湧かないよ。
いや、マユシは何も手伝ってないからっしょ。
あ、そうだったね。
岡部の意見はちなみに法王院じゃなくて岡部の意見ね。
I agree with Kurisu that the time leap machine is dangerous. On the other hand,
実験してみたい気持ちもある。
I state my honest feelings. Kurisu gasps.
だが、実際にタイムリープを行うには問題が多すぎる。
This is unknown territory, not just for us, but for all of humanity.
誰がタイムリープするんだ。
I look to each of the lab members in turn. Daru quickly looks away. Mayuri's expression is blank. Kurisu stares right back at me.
誰って決めるのは難しい。
僕はパス。
Not a single person here wants the honor of being history's first time traveler. Everyone, except for Mayuri, is probably thinking about what could go wrong. What if the time leap were to fail?
シルンのタイムマシンみたいにジェリーマン化する可能性はゼロよ。このマシンで送るのはデータであって実物じゃないんだから。タイムリープに対する先入観にとらわれないで。まるで意識そのものをカット&ペーストするように思われるかもしれないけど、そうじゃなくてあくまでも コピー&ペーストなの。しかも記憶だけをね。オリジナルが消えることはない。
That's a very easy to understand example. But that's not the problem. Time flows in a straight line from past to present to future. At least, that's how most humans see it. This raises several
過去へ
questions.
転送したデータが何らかのミスでフラクタル構造化してしまう可能性はある。もし仮に俺が1時間前へタイムリープしたとして、フラクタル構造化によりスカスカになった記憶データが1時間前の俺の脳にぶち込まれるかもしれない。それは一種の記憶喪失と同じ状態になりかねないのでは。
かもね。
もしそうなった場合、その1時間後には現在に到達することになる。どちらのデータが生き残る？
理屈で考えれば1時間前にコピーが移された時点で今も変化するから。
The conflicting current me disappears
それ
then.
はつまりコピー&ペーストではないということにならないか。
わからない。未だかつて時間を超越した前例なんて一つもないから。
D メールでは世界は改変後に沿って再構成された。
I'm the only one who is aware of this, however.
タイムリープしてどうなるかはわからないのよ。タイターが言うように多世界解釈ならタイムリープした時点で別の世界線に分岐する可能性と同じ世界線のまま時間だけを遡る可能性が同時に存在することになる。と同時に現在の岡部が消えない可能性の世界線も当然存在しているわけで、おそらくこの現在はそれに該当することになると思う。
Man, my brain. But that's only if the mini-world's interpretation holds true in the first
お
place.
前はタイターの言うことが信じていないのではなかったのか。
可能性の話をしている。タイターはこの際どうでもいい。コペンハーゲン解釈ならあらゆる状態が波動関数として空間に広がっていることになる。そして観測者が観測した瞬間、どちらかに状態が収束する。
But precise observation is
観
impossible.
測者が誰かというのも問題だ。
第三者じゃね？僕とかマユシとか。
そうとは限らない。観測者は俺かもしれないし、それ以外の誰かかもしれないし、神かもしれない。
To begin with, the Copenhagen interpretation and the mini-world's interpretation are both microscale theories used to explain quantum interactions. No one knows whether they can be applied to humans or the world at large. What about my personal experiences with reading Steiner? If reading Steiner is the power that I think it is, then the world line model is correct.
結局は意識はどこにあるという問題に行き着く。
このタイムリープマシンが転送するのはあくまで記憶だけ。それは間違いない。
転送された時点で今も再構成されるんじゃね？オカリンはリーディングシュタイナーでそれと同じような現象に遭遇したわけっしょ。
D メールの場合はそれで納得できた。あれは過去にメールで干渉する行為だというのが明確だったからな。しかしタイムリープは自分の記憶を過去へ送り込む行為であり、干渉するかしないかは明確にしていない。未来の記憶を思い出した1時間前の俺が因果に干渉するのかしないのかはその状況になってみなければわからないはず。
But they'll obviously behave differently.
頭がこんがらがってきた。
Now, would it make a big enough difference to influence much? Or do we have to worry more about the butterfly effect? That's the question.
なんかもう宗教の分野じゃね？魂はどこにあるかって話っしょ。
待って、あんたたちは勘違いしている。人格と意識は1時間前の岡部も今の岡部も何も変わらない。1時間分の記憶を持っているかいないか、違いはそれだけよ。
そうなのか？本当に？
絶対とは言い切れないけど、何しろ誰も試したことはないんだから。
This discussion's going nowhere. Personality and consciousness can't be strictly defined, so it's hard to imagine what might happen.
どっち？
だからわからないの。ここでどれだけうだうだ議論したって全ては予測止まりなんだから。この実験は人類のこれまでの既成概念を崩壊させるものになるかもね。
We won't know until we try. That pretty much sums it up. To make matters worse, the subject must be prepared to risk damage to their psyche. Kurisu, Daru, and I say no more. We can't solve this problem. This is our limit as scientists. But haven't we accomplished enough already? The time leap machine itself is worthy of a Nobel Prize. We could sell this technology for billions if we so chose. And if we go public with the time leap machine, we can break CERN's monopoly on time travel technology. That's enough. It has to be.
ねえね
Mayuri, who's been observing the discussion with glassy eyes, opens her mouth to speak.
え、マユシーはね、難しいことはよくわかんないけど、例えばね、マユシーの買ってきたバナナをタイムリープさせるのはどうかな。
マユリったら
Because bananas don't have memories.
バナナには人間みたいに脳はないでしょ。
あ、そっか。それじゃあダメだね。
Mayuri never changes. The atmosphere in the room gets a little more relaxed.
実験はしないでおく。タイムリープマシンはしかるべき研究機関に託そう。そして世間に公表する。
Thanks to the lightening of the mood, I can finally say what was on my mind. Neither Kurisu nor Daru objects.